Welcome to part 2 of my bedroom makeover, Parisian style. If you watched the first part, you would have seen this mirror and moon table which I found on Facebook Marketplace. But as lovely as they are, I can't use the moon table as a vanity as it is just a bit too high. But that's not the only issue. My room is small and I don't have the space for a vanity table, not even a small one. So I had to think of ways to create a space where I can still sit down and do my makeup but also without taking too much space. That's when I saw this mantle mirror on Facebook Marketplace. It had these two small glass cabinets which I thought was great for storing my brushes and jewellery, and I can hang it on the wall so it wouldn't take up any floor space. I collected it with my brother, but that was just the beginning because there was a lot of work to do. This pinewood mantle mirror came from a Victorian home and has definitely been through it. Over the years, looks like it was painted and then stripped back to natural wood and then stained. There were a lot of cracks in the wood, so I began using wood filler to repair these. As well as cracks, there were nail holes and large gaps in the beveled corners. I went ahead and repaired all the damages and tried my best to use the wood filler to match the shape of the surrounding wood. This was important because although some people aren't going to like this, I am going to have to paint the mantle, as unfortunately the wood is just too far gone to save, and it's better that the item is saved rather than it ending up in the skip. And it is my mirror, so... There was also a piece of wood missing in the corner, so I used some spare paneling that I had left. I cut it to size and I glued it on. It's obviously not the perfect match, but it did the job. Now, I didn't want to just paint the mantle one colour, I wanted to add some detail to it. So I got these carved wood circles and I wanted to create this wall pattern that I had seen from Daphne's video when she stayed at the Ritz in London. To do this, I got these very thin square trims from B&Q and cut them to size to create the inner white edges. But once that was done, I started to tape up the mirror and the glass so I could begin painting. For paint, I used the colour Stone Rosy by French Chic, which is this gorgeous beige colour with this slightly pink undertone. And if you're following me, you know it's the only paint brand I use, and it only needed 2 coats of paint. I painted the smaller trim in the colour Wedding Cake, also by French Chic. I then began to glue the pieces down, making sure the edges are straight, because once it's dried, there's no going back. After the glue had dried, I painted the middle of the pattern in the same colour Wedding Cake. And for the detailed circles, I used gold gilding wax. I glued the carved circles down, making sure they were positioned correctly, then went in with the final coat of Wedding Cake. I also ordered this floating shelf with drawers for extra storage and had them installed first at the height of a dressing table and then had the mantle mirror installed on top. I switched out the knobs that came with the drawers for these ceramic French knobs, and I think they just match perfectly. This mantelpiece has already elevated the room so much. I added my vintage pin